on to our next session. We are excited to present our next session, Startup in Africa, exploring the African startup ecosystem and scaling opportunities. For that, I would like to welcome our esteemed panelists. First of all, I would like to welcome Ms. Cecelia Flomo, Executive Secretary, Registrar at the Liberian Board of Nursing and Midwifery, brings her expertise in fostering innovation and capacity building in healthcare and education sectors. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Augustus Jonathan Flomo, former Deputy Minister for Economy in Liberia and current CEO of Gusceman INC, is a visionary leader with deep insights into economic strategies and scaling business in Africa. Next, I would like to welcome Ms. Archa Arun, CEO of Neonicz Software Solutions, provides a global perspective, connecting Indian and African ecosystems through technology-driven solutions. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Gurumat, the co-founder and CEO of Neonicz Software Solutions. We are delighted to introduce Jainy Joseph as the moderator for today's discussion on startups in Africa, all about African entrepreneurial ecosystem and opportunities for scaling up your business. Welcome. We warmly welcome all you to Huddle Global 2024.
Hi, let's welcome the esteemed panelists. Today we are going to explore the possibilities of collaboration between Indian and African entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we are privileged to have an esteemed panel of experts and leaders whose experience can provide a comprehensive overview of how this collaboration can be a success. Cecelia, my first question is to you that as someone with extensive experience in the healthcare industry, what role does healthcare innovation play in the African entrepreneurial system, and how can global ecosystems take advantage of that?
Thank you very much. As you heard, I'm Cecelia Flomo. I work as a regulator in the health industry, particularly with nurses and midwives, of course, the largest human resource for health within Liberia. Indeed, there are a lot of opportunities. With Africa, especially with Liberia, and particularly within the health industry. We've had, health has evolved over the years, as you are aware. With the involvement, there has always been either recovering or new challenges. And I strongly believe that innovation, with the support of technology, health technology, these issues or challenges can be turned into opportunities with partnership and collaboration, especially with countries like India. We are still struggling in Liberia with onboarding technology in different sectors of our health system. And you know, the health system has many players. You have the administrative part of health system, you have the educational side of health system, you have the regulatory side of health system, you do have the clinical side of health system. If you put them into two categories, you have the clinical and non-clinical. So with all of these areas, we need huge technological, innovative support according to our own context in solving some of our problems. In health, we say in making some of our health indicators a better one for our population. If you looked at the administrative side of the health industry, let's say as simple as organizing staff scheduling. We are still taking a lot of the supervisor's time in trying to build a physical hard copy schedule that allows a hospital that has about 100 to 200 staff members to come to work. What's about leveraging or using just a click of a button when it comes to technology? Also with patients scheduling, you find a lot of times patients get frustrated because you have about 500 patients coming to hospital 4 a.m. because they want to struggle to meet with doctor's time. Doctors get frustrated. How can I handle this whole hall full of people waiting for me in the queue? What's about using queue management system with technology in solving the issue about meeting the doctor on time? So like I said, Liberia has these challenges, huge, when it comes to technology, using software, using supplies, building infrastructure. We are still at the lower point. And when interacting with India, I feel that it's a huge opportunity for partnership in solving some of our health challenges, especially using innovations that are supported by technology.
Wonderful, Cecelia. As someone who's been in this space, what do you think are some of the challenges that the healthcare sector faces, which can be addressed by the entrepreneurial ecosystem in India?
Like I said, a lot of things we currently do in Liberia, we use physical means. So if we can use the system or technology, for example, using just a platform to get to your clients, that could be very much better. Because Liberia has a very poor road network. So if you have to wait to see every patient within a physical space for health education or health information, you can tell me how many patients you will have with poor health system, because information is power. But if you can use technology, telemedicine, mHealth, in reaching out to your clients, that would be great. Like I said, studies have shown that 50 to 60% of clinicians' time with patients actually has to do with non-clinical issues. What's about using technology in allowing your patient interacting with you within an e-space, after which when there's a need for physical interaction, then you all can meet. You can now do the coding, but because we don't have that in Liberia, everything is done physically. And with that, people are frustrated. People don't have trust in using the health facilities. They blame providers, but it's not all to providers. We have had huge challenges, for example, Ebola. I don't know whether you all heard about Ebola that struck Liberia. Pre-Ebola, we were always using touch for everything. To hand wash, you have to touch. To do on protective gears, you have to touch. But when Ebola struck us, and we knew that infections spread through all of these different touches, we introduced what we call non-touch hand washing technology. How can we build on those simple methods for non-touch in the hospital that allows us to breach infectious diseases? So with technology and with our collaboration with systems in India, I'm sure these simple innovations can support us and prevent many things and keep us very healthy within the health system for our population.
That's a great perspective, Cecelia. Especially post-pandemic, we know the importance of how easy it has become to connect across the globe, and even for consultation, how we can use e-space in order to meet with the doctors for initial diagnostics. And like Cecelia said, only in case of a requirement that you need to meet physically. Thank you, Cecelia, for that. Now, Augustus, my question is for you. That drawing from your tenure as an entrepreneur and Deputy Minister of Economy, what are the most promising sectors for entrepreneurs in Africa, and how can these sectors affect international collaboration?
Thank you, Jenny, and good morning, everyone. We're very happy to be here to share with you some of the opportunities or promising sectors, as you would say, in Africa. You know, Africa now is becoming the newest frontier of the global market. Most of the continent have worked very strong in overcoming things that we have not overcome yet. And so I usually say that the challenges that Africa has are considered as opportunities. Those challenges, for example, in agriculture, agribusiness, agro-processing, for example. You know, many countries in Africa are still feeding, you know, finding food and stuff from India, I would say that. So if you were looking at the technology that has been introduced across the space of agriculture, vast technology, you have so much population. In many countries, individual countries in Africa, they have limited spaces. More spaces with limited population. How can we use technology to use some of these non-utilized locations? But even for those who are producing, how can they use technology to improve on what they're doing so that it becomes part of the global market? That is an opportunity in the space of agriculture. If you just look at the entire food supply chain, where people come from production, as someone would say, from farm to plate. So if you're looking at from farm to plate, there are so much opportunities in that space. Packaging, you know, value addition in the space, agro-tech that has to do with even the marketing space in agriculture. Look at infrastructure, for example, road connectivity. Even beyond road connectivity, you want to look at telephone, mobile communication, internet connectivity. You want to talk about technology of all forms. I mean, now you are dealing with AI here. You were talking about all the newest generation of technology. Just this morning, we're talking with people talking about the future of technology, robots, and Africa is still, it's at a point where, and I say in one of the conversations the other day, where probably we're like 15, 20 years away from where India was when you started talking about solving problems, addressing issues that kind of impact the change of what India is going through. So if you just look at infrastructure in that space, in the sense of all of these different technology, what is in education, I mean, Mrs. Flomo mentioned health, some of the key issues around health. And if you're looking at tourism, for example, vast opportunity. Africa has a lot of resources, natural resources, I would say, relatively raw materials. And none of these materials are being processed in Africa. Yes, some of the issues around there are tied around infrastructure, for example, like energy, renewable energy. So if you're looking at renewable energy, I mean, I've been here for I was here 6 months ago. Now I'm back here and you're talking about solar, for example, different forms of solar. You're talking about Africa potential of hydro power production. You're talking about Africa potential of wind power. How do you use the technology that you have to be able to support? So those are opportunities that are existing. FinTech, for example. FinTech, mobile money. In many of the countries that have rural challenges. I mean, I work in government, and I can tell you how much mobile money play, fintech, how much role it play in turning around the services we were trying to deliver, and just to keep faculty, students, teachers at their locations, for example. Because staff or faculty of universities or teaching hospitals or even hospitals will leave from the rural places to come to where the banks are when salaries are paid, to access their salaries before they go back to work. And sometimes, because of challenges in rural connectivity, it will take them 3 days to go back to work just to access their salary. The role of fintech in that space was able to reduce the challenge in that space. But there are still a lot more challenges that still exist in that space that could be used as an opportunity for those in the fintech sector or in the fintech industry. A lot of different innovations are possible there. So when you look at Africa opportunities, the opportunities are vast, and startups in the space are also challenged because they do not have the ecosystems that you have been exposed to here. They do not have those ecosystems that have been built 30 years ago that you have here in India. They do not have some of the policies that, I've been following the team. When you ask them, but they say, well, you have to have this kind of certification, you have to have this kind of standard, you have to meet these. Many of these standards are standards that could be transferred, knowledge that could be transferred, opportunities that could be tapped on. So I think sitting from the lens of an entrepreneur, and I always say to many of our business people in Africa and in Liberia, I've come from Liberia, I always say to them, a country's economy is as a result of how the entrepreneurs think and find problems and solve those problems. Africa is a new frontier. People are trying to move. Businesses are trying to get established. People want to improve systems, just systems, the flow of processes, just to increase efficiency in productivity. I mean, you heard, Mrs. Flomo talk about some of the challenges she's had in the health sector. If people are still dealing with paper-based, in this generation of time, where you are far ahead, where people speak to phones, take your mobile phone and speak some things to it, and things happen. And people are still there working on papers. Those are opportunities that I think India and Africa looking at these opportunities, because you've gone through these challenges. And what positioned India more significantly is because of, if you align some of the cultural things with India and Africa, you see that there's so much similarities. Even the food, we've been here, we eat the food we've been eating. There's no issue. So you see that there's so much connectivity that if we were to tap on these, use the knowledge, the powerhouse. I was saying the other day, Kerala, for example, is a powerhouse of people, powerhouse of knowledge, powerhouse of a lot of competences. How do we leverage on that and try to move it into Africa? How do we build a bridge between that powerhouse and where the gaps are? And how are we identifying those gaps to solve some of the problems? So I think the opportunities are vast. The opportunities, I would say, are limitless. As we speak, the opportunities are limitless. But someone needs to unlock those opportunities. Someone needs to move in and handhold people. Someone needs to build relations somewhere to get things happening. So I think I can go on and list to you, from education to social, economic livelihood, there are issues in those corridors. But those issues, as I always say, are opportunities for Africa. There are opportunities for Africa's growth. There are opportunities for Africa relationship, to be able to leapfrog. Because Africa now is at a point where they're trying They're ready to receive in terms of new ideas, new technology, revising and improving on how they do things. So the opportunities are limitless. Let's see how those opportunities can be explored.
Wow. We look at the opportunities, and like you mentioned, Augustus, that we have gone through the challenges that Africa is going through today, and we have moved past that taking advantage of the technology. What are some of the challenges that the African entrepreneurs are facing today, and how can we leverage Startup Infinity and initiatives like that to educate in terms of policies or governance and other regulatory challenges that the African entrepreneurs face? What do you think that how we can collaborate with Africa and the startup ecosystem that we have in Kerala?
Yeah, so I mean, the startup system here is super. We visited the startup center, and we had interaction with the team. And you see that access to finance, for example, in Africa will be, I mean, when you talk to many of the startups, they will say, well, we have challenge with access to finance. I mean, I was sitting in the pew here hearing many of the startups will certainly have issues of, access to, capital or access to finance. But even more important is the capacity, issues about capacity. And those challenges that they go through, I mean, a startup could think about great ideas, but just the system that they have to go through, just the regulatory framework could become a bottleneck. But what makes a good entrepreneur is being persistent, is being resilient to challenges or issues you find before you. That's what makes you a good entrepreneur. And so those challenges, I believe, access to finance, and there are lots of front lines of opportunities now. Capacity, which you have surpassed ever since, the ecosystem, just the management system, the processes you have, the fact that you are incubating ideas. When someone thinks about an idea, they can walk somewhere and speak to a system and say, look, I want to come in here, I have a thought like this, and I think I can change this situation from A to Z. Africa is still lacking, I would say, these kinds of systems. How can we leapfrog, or how can we build on what you have, and how can this infinitive center move? I think this is the idea of how we're looking at the relationship between Africa and India coming into the picture of moving capacities you have here into Africa and bringing some of those good skills, good knowledge from Africa, and learning, or what you call sharpening some of those knowledge and ideas and thinking, and becomes a win-win building. And so the challenges, cannot overcome the strength I find in the kind of relationship we have here. The ecosystem is strong. You have tested the models. It worked. It is working. In fact, some of the relationship is what have brought us here. The efficiency is what have created the lake to get us into India. It's because you have had that capacity. You were able to create a business a couple of years ago, and that business provided a service. Through that service, we all now got to know this business exists, and now we end up into an ecosystem that now says, wow, this is what created these guys. This is what made these businesses. You have that capacity here. The challenges are there, but there are opportunities. And you have been able to convert most of those opportunities, those challenges of opportunities. Now you have products, you have services that we can use. Africa can use that and be able to, kind of solve most of its problems. And this is where a stronger relations, a stronger partnership comes in. In that picture of that relationship of knowledge and availability, and willingness. Because there's a willingness on the part of Africa. There's a willingness of who you can talk to. And of course, in every system, there will be a challenge of, yesterday I listened to trust. There will always be an issue of trust. But it takes time to build that bridge. And over time, you understand, because both of us will have a slightly different culture in terms of upbringing and how we build our business processes. But over time, once we are able to link, that is able to, So I believe that the challenges of access to finance, challenges of capacity gaps, challenges of some of the regulatory issues, policies in Africa are also being created because the right capacity or the right systems have not been introduced. So when these solutions are available that have helped to improve systems before, and then they be proposed to the African market and proposed to the African system, I think it's going to help to push with most of the results.
Wow. So I'm sure with your influence, we can deal with all of those regulatory issues. And what a way to leverage the experience of a flourishing ecosystem in order to build the current ecosystem in Africa. You spoke about how important it is to build trust and relationship. With that, Guru, my question is to you, that as one of the primary person who's been focused on building this relationship with Africa, what is your take on how can we really build trust while we are exploring opportunities in Africa? And what are some of the supportive how can the entrepreneurial ecosystem support building trust and collaboration between India and Africa?
Great question, by the way. I think most people here would want to hear what is how we can build a trust with the counterpart, partners of Africa or the clients of Africa, right? So as you are asking the question, I recall when we started. I've been working with the region for quite some time, but we as an organization have started working with Liberian Board for Nursing and Midwifery. So as we were taking that decision, we had to go through bidding process. So as we were making decision on, whether to go for bidding or not, we were asked many questions from our well-wishers and friends. Why do you want to go to Africa? Why do you want to, sell your services there? We hear there are a lot of challenges, and we hear there are a lot of, financial challenges. Our answer to them first, we had a choice, either to go with the developed countries, provider solutions, be one among many, right? And try to hustle with all other players that are probably made their market or trying to make their market with us, right? So that's first option. So second option, go to a place where they are in need, right? So they are in need of the solution. And as a human being, as an ethical person, so it's always good to give who is in need, right? So I don't say Africa, is far behind us. I have been there. It's not so right. They are very hungry. They want to move forward, and pretty sure, as Mr. Flomo has been saying, so they are being a frontier. They will be a frontier soon with India, right? So, and second answer from us to them, you call yourself an entrepreneur, and you are afraid of challenges. Probably you should find a job elsewhere, right? So we are built to face challenges. So with that, and also, we believe in 3 key roles. I, for one, try to build or cement a relationship with any of our clients with these 3 basic principles, that is trust, collaborate, and innovate, right? So trust, trust is something doesn't come that easy, but it always, or it should always begin from within, right? So we should trust ourselves, we should trust our gut, and we should trust the team, and we should trust the process. And moreover, and most importantly, we should trust the client, we should trust the region, and take a leap of faith, right? So when we do that, and when we do that, we gotta provide that services or a product or anything that we are offering to cater to their need, because a collaboration, a best collaboration is a result of two needs. When two needs meet properly, it results in a better collaboration. That is you and me, in this case, Africa and India, right? So Africa had a need, we of course had a need, right? So, and we work towards fulfilling their need, and they ensure our need is fulfilled, right? So, so when we do that, we definitely build trustful collaboration. So what trustful collaboration yields? It always leads in innovation, right? So we come from a technology background, so we strive for innovation, and our partners help us do that innovation, walk along with them, right? So, I mean, I have been asked several times before, and even today, yesterday and today, while we were walking, fewer people were asking to Mr. Flomo as well. And for me, it was a very often question that I hear, whether your payments are paid on regular terms. And I'm here, we are working with 3 regions now, what started as 1 project, now we are handling 8 projects. Our payments were never delayed. I mean, not getting payment is not even in a picture. It wasn't even delayed. I mean, there could be some instances where our services probably delayed, but their payments were never delayed. So I suppose it's all, it's a result of what I call as, trustful collaboration. So we had the partners, we had the people. So when we fulfill their need, they were there to fulfill our need.
What a perspective, that assurance of financial and other aspect, the support coming from an ecosystem like Africa. Guru, as we are so poised to build the cross-border collaboration with Africa, Mr. Flomo spoke about how can some of the regulatory and policy challenges that can be supported by the African ecosystem. What are some of the measures that stakeholders in India can take in order to build on in order to address cultural as well as regulatory challenges that today we might be facing as we begin this journey?
Great. Yeah. So I suppose I'll sort of say an Indian perspective of what he's been saying and in his answers. So I'll probably start with our experience with first, we as an organization experienced with our first project in the region. So when we, of course, went for a bidding, so we had to compete with several, organizations from Africa, and also from China, from India, from Bangladesh, and several other regions of globe. Because it is one of the very prestigious institutions in that region. I mean, it's as old as India. I mean, after freedom. So they are celebrating their 28th birthday in few months, I suppose. So when they called for a bidding, several of them approached them. But our approach was exactly what you said. So we were trying to integrate our solutions to the cultural part of it and the regulatory part of it. So that particular proposal, that approach of ours was something put us on a different place, and our approach was really liked by a registrar of the board, and hence the board gave us awarded us the project. But this was 10% of it. So then again, like as another service company, we could have just developed it and delivered it. But our vision was to make a mark. our vision was to be someone there. Our vision was to be, one of the key stakeholders in the region. So we worked towards not just developing it, but we ensured it implements well. So when it implements well, then our job doesn't get over there. If you think our job gets over, then eventually, or rather lately, our application takes the back seat and people will forget it. So we were with them. They were gracious enough to help us drive our the educational things, whichever we had to let people know or educate people on some of these technologies that we have been developed for them. And some of them are very quick to understand. They picked it up and they have been using it very well. So when that happened, when a successful implementation was happened, the third phase was how it is changing the life of people then. So recently when I spoke to her, so she's considered as one of the top exam system in the region. So, which was built by us, by the way. So, so when that happened, so when people lives are started changing, then people starts noticing, right? So then we got reached out by other, other organizations, other companies, other countries. So what started as I said, what started as one project, now we are working with 8 projects, and now we are trying to build ecosystem. Like what we went through, what we have been asked, should not be a hurdle for our fellow entrepreneurs. So we are trying to build a space where anybody can, without any fear, come in, join hands, and work with Africa. So as a result, as we have been working with them to fulfill their needs, so they have been gracious enough to fulfill our needs by collaborating with us. So as we speak, around 10 countries have joined their hands with us, and by end of December, so the number should be reaching 12 to 15. So those are countries, by the way. So that sort of cements, how the relationship is heading toward, and how they are looking at India, and how Indians can sort of go there and help us by helping them, in a sense, right? So, I would like to conclude with one last line, which I recently heard from one of, I suppose, a mentor, very quick mentor. If your innovation, if your innovation transfers into that country's memory, you are successful. Then you will not have any problem of not getting money or not getting enough trust. So fulfill the need, they will fulfill back your need. So that's what I had to say.
Thank you, Guru. Wow, what a way to leverage human relations along with, while building technology, isn't it? And human can never go out of the equation, however advanced we become with technology. With that, I want to ask Archa, as a leader in technology solutions and someone who has been front-ending the technology solutions that we have been supporting Africa region with, what are the opportunities that you see that Indian entrepreneurs to collaborate with the African ecosystem in solving some of the shared challenges that we've heard so far?
So Africa, as everyone said, Africa is a continent with immense growth potential, marked by its expanding population and increasing economic activities and rising middle class. And it is one of the biggest growing urbanizing region actually globally if we look into it. It is expected that by 2050 the 70% of the population will be living in urban areas. If we consider that, there are plenty of opportunity for the population to leverage into the smart city region. And there are cities like Nairobi, which provides opportunities for digital transformation, infrastructure, and real estate. So when we consider the digital transformation, the internet penetration rate was 45% last year, 2023. And it is, growing very fast, to facilitate all the digital solutions which we are going to implement in the region. So coming to the population again, so UN report based on that 2023 report, it was mentioned like by 2050 the population will be growing to 2.5 billion people, in which more than 70% will be under the age of 30, which means there is a vast opportunity for the government as well as for the businesses to address the needs of a younger and an urbanized population. So this kind of impactful shift, economic and demographic shift, Africa is experiencing now, which is best option for Indian startups to collaborate in that region. For example, as Mr. Flomo mentioned earlier, fintech. So Indian fintech startups who can enable the digital wallets and mobile banking kind of solutions, they have a great opportunity in the, all over the continent, they have the opportunity. And coming to the agriculture, as we all know, like both the economies have agriculture as the backbone. So here we have seen many agri-tech startups who can help African farmers in precision farming and who builds IoT tools, which helps the helps them enable that farming segment and fasten the growth. So that is another area where Indian startups can leverage in Africa. And as I mentioned, as the urbanization is happening very fast, smart city needs will be increasing. Startups who provides the smart traffic control systems or traffic management systems and waste management systems, these kind of solutions will be in need in the upcoming time. So all these segments, also the energy, the renewable energy segment, solar is critical for both the regions. So they need it. So these areas are, waiting for a boom. Actually, we have that much innovations in India, especially in Kerala. We are seeing a lot of startups working in these areas. So as we can see, these digital solutions and the other solutions like energy solutions, everything, when it takes a traction, Africa will be becoming a more interesting destination for innovation, investment, and of course, entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Wow, I hope the Google Pays and Phone Pays and the other startup in the fintech space is listening to the opportunities that they can explore in the Africa region. Archa, how technology can really bridge the gaps in infrastructure, education, and healthcare that we heard about, great opportunities, and even in the energy sector like you mentioned. How can the entrepreneurs enable the system to scale up more efficiently in both the regions?
So over the past decade, we know India has a tremendous growth in technology, especially in IT and AI digital transformation, all these areas, and which made India as a global leader in the innovation segment itself. So what we do in Neonicz is, we are seeing, our government of India and other organizations like Kerala Strata Mission and GTech, NASCOM, all these organizations are, how they are nurturing our startups to build great products or great innovations. We are seeing at Neonicz has grown up from such a startup ecosystem, and we got inspired from it, and from there only we learned how to collaboratively we can build something which has which can influence a region itself. So from there, we actually got a spark of how we can collaboratively make some solutions, and how can we provide that to the other regions as well, so that there also we can see that much growth, and eventually it will help us back. So Neonicz actually collaborating with almost 15 startups to provide solutions to the West African region only, and that collaboration actually started when we started our partnership with Liberia. Our journey started in Africa with Liberian Board for Nursing and Midwifery, as Guru mentioned. So we, when we first interacted with the, Ms. Cecelia, so we, our team actually dedicatedly was sitting with them to understand their needs and their challenges, the infrastructure, everything, it's different from our country. To understand their challenges and, curating the right solution for the department. It was, very much learning for us actually. Once we developed that, the trust that built between the, the two regions actually, I'll say like that, two regions. That's what, concluded into this kind of a collaborating idea that, as a startup, we cannot provide all the solutions, it won't be a speedy process. It will take time as to develop and provide all the required resources or solutions or products to the region. So we considered other startups as well to provide us the solution, so that we can give all the required products to the region and make them more make them more enabled for the next level of growth. So that's what we did in Neonicz, and the Liberian Board for Nursing and Midwifery, which is into healthcare and education, as you mentioned. This is a segment we went deep into it in the initial stage. So it took less than 2 years them to transform from a paper-based system into a complete automated system, from the nursing candidates indexing to license part. The whole process we automated with an AI-enabled module in it. So for this kind of transformation, we could do it in less than 2 years. And as a continuation of the relationship, we build learning platform for SMEs and other platforms in which SMEs can join and do businesses. So these kind of applications we could work with, and we could slowly bring that new ideas which we are seeing around us, and we can join it with our ideas and make a best solution and provide to them. So this is what we are doing, and Neonicz is aiming to, we are on a mission actually to provide greatest solutions to African region, and whoever have that kind of positive potential solutions, we can very well collaborate. Thank you.
Spoke like a true technology leader who wants to take advantage of the ecosystem in Africa themselves, but also provide opportunity for other budding entrepreneurs with ideas and innovation to really take forward and explore the ecosystem in Africa. What an insightful discussion this has been. Thank you so much, each panelist, for bringing in their insights into this discussion. So we are now going to be launching an initiative for which I'd like to invite the CEO of, the CTO and co-founder of Neonicz, Arun. Arun has been the visionary behind this particular initiative, where we wanted to provide the opportunity that Neonicz got extended to the other entrepreneurs and tech organizations who are interested, and investors who are looking for opportunities to build and to really provide the support for each other. It's win-win for each other. Like Guru said, we have a need for a place, and we have a solution where we can actually provide support to the African ecosystem, and they have a need to digitize and take advantage of the technology solutions that we have built. Arun, may I welcome you to the stage?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Dignitaries on the dais, welcome my esteemed guest, Mr. Augustus Flomo and Cecelia C. Flomo. This is the second time in this year they are coming back to India. We had an event conducted in February named Scale to West Africa. Many of you have attended that event. I personally know those people are also over here. In that event, we were trying to introduce some of our Kerala startup ecosystem's advantages and capabilities to the West African ecosystem. That is what we wanted to do at that time. And so many of the people asked us, why do you come and create unnecessary competition for you? Why don't you grab all the solutions that you can build and you can make a big company? As a startup founder, I don't think so. I can build everything alone. I need a team that I have in Neonicz, a very small team. But I need a team of entrepreneurs. And this vision was not only by me. I was discussing with my friend, Mr. Flomo, so I call him Gus. So Gus and me were having that discussion. So we thought, like, I asked, okay, why don't we create an organization which can bridge the solutions or the capabilities of both the countries to the world, not to Africa, not to India, to the entire global. And that, both of us, got that crux on it. Okay, so let's try to do that. And that's the time we came like AIGI, that is AIEGI. That's the spelling, Africa, India, and E stands for Education and Entrepreneurship, and it's a global initiative. So the idea behind this is we are going to share our capabilities, including the startup ecosystem and the entrepreneurship ecosystem over here in India. And we are going to bud more entrepreneurs who want to become entrepreneurs from the African region, not only the West Africa and the African region, where we have already signed up some documents with around 10 African countries as of now. And we are targeting in a couple of other months, it is reaching to 20 African countries. And that is where we are right now. And we have around, as Archa mentioned earlier, around 15 companies have already aligned with us not only from Kerala, from Hyderabad, Pune, Bangalore, these regions also people are approaching us and to be part of this organization. And we have already signed around 5 MOUs who can provide the solutions from India to Africa or collaboratively run the show in the African region. So that is where we stand. And I conclude my talk over here to formally moving to the inaugural process of, or the launch process of IGI.
Mr. Flomo and Mrs. Flomo, we request you to please inaugurate the initiative by playing the video of the. How do you play the video?
Africa, the cradle of innovation and opportunity, is emerging as the next global economic hub. From the thriving startups in West Africa to the vast resources of South Africa, the continent stands poised for growth like never before. Ghana is a beacon for emerging startups. Liberia showcases vast agricultural potential. Nigeria is the fintech powerhouse. Kenya leads in mobile banking innovations, and South Africa drives sustainable industries. Together, these nations create an ecosystem ripe for entrepreneurial success. India has walked similar paths, overcoming challenges to emerge as a global technological leader. From innovation hubs in Kerala to advancements in artificial intelligence, robotics, space tech, India now shares its journey to inspire and partner with Africa in its growth story. Together, India and Africa can create a powerful synergy. By exchanging ideas, fostering innovation, and building businesses, this collaboration opens new doors for entrepreneurs, strengthens economies, and impacts lives across both regions. This initiative focuses on educating and empowering entrepreneurs by providing access to resources, mentorship, and a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem. Through our initiation, we nurture budding ideas, transforming them into successful products and businesses. By fostering collaboration, we bridge the gap between innovation and market success, taking every entrepreneur closer to their dream. This initiative is backed by strong visionaries of India and Africa, ensuring robust support for entrepreneurs. From funding opportunities to mentorship, we are here to enable your journey towards success. Africa Indus Entrepreneurship Global Initiative bridges continents to address global challenges. Together, we empower local economies, drive innovation, and create a legacy of sustainable development for a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future for India, Africa, and the world.
I'd like to invite Gus to speak officially on the inauguration.
Thank you, Arun, and I want to thank all of you who have made time to be here. As Arun mentioned, we all are considered problem solvers. It is our responsibility to identify issues, to identify solutions at the same time. And so Africa, which is leaping, getting ready to move into where you have crossed probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, interlocking with your commitment and the dedication and innovation you have here in India, we are very, very excited to be part of this initiative. So strategic partnership in this generation of life is very important, very critical. And along these pathway of our partnership, we believe that both Africa and India, using the resources available to us, can certainly move IGI to a future where India and Africa moving into the world can make a greater impact. So investing in the future of Africa, investing in the future of India, investing in the people of the world, we believe that our continent, Africa, India, and the rest of our partners can work inclusively to support development, to support economic growth, to support sustainable solutions, to support people, to support systems, to ensure that our work together will continue to support development and growth. And lastly, by focusing on these opportunities that have been given to us by the Kerala Startup Mission, and all of you who have seen these ideas as laudable, we believe that our global networks and our connection can help build big solutions for our world and its people. And we believe Africa and India are on the rise to provide solutions, to provide opportunities to the world and its people. So again, on behalf of our team and ourselves, we are here and very glad to officially be part of this launching event of Africa Indus Entrepreneurship and we will say education global initiative as we move into building a sustainable front line for development and economic empowerment of our two countries and continent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Flomo. May I request the team to just play the video on how West Africa has extended support and some of the great work that's been done in the past.
Celebrating collaboration. Hello everyone. I am Sylvia Sefako Adumazi Langdon, a development consultant from Ghana. I am honored to share with you how Africa and India can use this global initiative to support transformation while harnessing possibilities into realities. This partnership with India isn't just about collaboration. It's a celebration of shared dreams and determination. Think about it this way. Africa's rich resources combined with India's expertise in technology and innovation. Together, we can create new ventures that empower communities, provide jobs, and deliver solutions that truly serve the people. From innovative tech startup in Ghana to sustainable farming in Liberia, this partnership can become the real game changer. It is not about two continents working separately. It's about a global family working together, united by entrepreneurship and innovation. So, let's push the power of coming together, creating opportunities, and light up the future for Africa and beyond. Thank you.
The power of partnership. Greetings to all. My name is Tony Bobido Songa from Sierra Leone in West Africa. As a proud member of Global Partnership, I'm very glad to be a part of the Africa Indus Global Initiative launch event at the Hurdles 2024 event through this video presentation. I want to highlight the magic happening when Africa's potential meet with India's innovations. This is more than a business alliance. It is a partnership built on trust, shared values, and the commitment to uplift lives. Together, we are ready to tackle challenges and transform them into opportunities. Take, for example, the way African entrepreneurs are adopting Indian tech to advance education, health, and agriculture. How Indian startups are getting insights from Africa's untapped markets, etc. A two-way street of growth The initiative is going to open doors for our youths, create vibrant opportunities, vibrant business ecosystems, and drive real change where it matters most on the ground. We are all here to create a brighter and bolder tomorrow for us all.
So thank you very much for listening. So we we reached out to a couple of our friends, but because the time is always very short, we cannot play more of the videos. But this is one of the business partners from Sierra Leone and another partner from Ghana. There was another video from Nigeria and then others from Gambia. But again, we cannot play all of the support video. But to tell you that Africa is ready to work with you and to partner with you on this front line. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Flomo. That was very warm. And this initiative is not just, it's a shared vision for two different countries where the lines of geographical borders are blurring. And with our ideas and technology and innovation and information flows, effortlessly between two regions, that is Africa and India, and rest of the world, right? With technology, anything is possible today. And yet we feel like this is just the beginning. And to unlock the full potential of this ecosystem, we must bridge gaps and create more collaborative access to technology, funding, mentorship, and for global markets. So with this, as we draw this particular insightful discussion as well as the launch of this great initiative, it is my privilege to invite someone who has been at the very heart of this initiative, a visionary leader and a true bridge builder between Africa and India. Guru Math, the co-founder and COO of Neonicz Software Solutions, has dedicated over half a decade to this mission, fostering trust, forging relationships, and contributing significantly to the success of this collaboration. Guru's unwavering commitment to creating opportunities through technology and partnership has been a cornerstone for this initiative. Guru, your expertise, your leadership, and your passion have left an incredible mark on us to take forward this journey. Please, welcome you to close this particular initiative.
Thank you for those kind words, Jainy. I really appreciate it. I just want to conclude it quick because I think we are very sensitive of time now. I want to just take you all back to the inception of this idea. So this idea was sort of started when they all visited here in India. That was around February. So that's roughly about 8 to 9 months. So in these 8 to 9 months after they traveled back, when they traveled back was in April, and when they started spreading out this idea to the people over there and the countries around in the network. Of course, he's a former minister. So when that has started happening, I mean, in 8 months of time, from April, if you take it, I think it will be around 6 or 7 months roughly. So in those short duration, we could onboard, as I have already said, and Arun also has mentioned. So 8 countries already has signed an agreement and joined hands with us. And thank you. And by end of December, 12 are to be joined. And in few more months, we are aspiring to reach 20 countries to partner with this initiation and exchange innovation, exchange businesses between the region, between the continents, right? So, and also it, I suppose, would answer a lot of your questions about trust and all other aspects. So I think after seeing all these things, after hearing us talking about things, I suppose most of you will want to start a business with Africa. So I welcome you all to join your hands with IGI, that is Africa, India, Education, Entrepreneurial, Global Initiation. And together, let's build a better tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
We would like to express our sincere thanks to all our panelists for sharing your valuable insights on the African entrepreneurial ecosystem and the opportunities for scaling business. Your expertise has been instrumental in making this session highly informative. A special thanks to the moderator for expertly guiding this session and ensuring a smooth and engaging session. We deeply appreciate your time and contributions which made the session success. Thank you once again. May I kindly request all the speakers to come up to the stage to receive a token of appreciation on behalf of Kerala Startup Mission. I would like to welcome Mr. Krishna Kumar M, Head of Lead South Kerala from Kerala Startup Mission, to hand over the mementos to the speakers. There is also a small gift from Neonicz.